Welcome to Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. I am Jamie G, and I'm back with Magnum Mills to help you seize the gap and stop being so inefficient. We're kicking off week 4 of the 2025 NFL season on Thursday Night Football with an NFC West clash between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Should be a good game here, but Mills, I think we're both relieved not to have our favorite teams playing on Thursday Night Football. Whew. We were 2 for 3 to start the season, so this is the one L I'm happy to take here.
Yeah, and again, your Bills win over the Dolphins last week wasn't crazy stressful, but my week one win with the Eagles between Jalen Carter getting booted before, basically on the first play of the game, and then that crazy delay for the Lightning. Yeah, that was too stressful. We don't want to stress. We want to have fun, and that's the goal here on Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. We're going to have fun and hopefully help you make a couple bucks and win in your fantasy football leagues. Thanks again for checking out the show. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the World Wide Web at seizethegapff.com. Very simple and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure you touch the thumb.
Ring that bell, baby, because it is time for the tale of the tape. Mills, what do we need to know about this game before setting lineups and placing any potential wagers?
We have the 2-1 Seattle Seahawks. They are 1.5 point road favorites, minus 125 on the money line, traveling to Arizona to face the 2-1 Arizona Cardinals. 1.5 point home dogs, plus 105 on the money line. The game total is 43.5 points. Not any weather issues here. We got the roof. The roof, it's not on fire. The roof is fine, but James Conner, Jamie G likes to call him the Terminator. Unfortunately, he has been terminated. He hurt his ankle. He is out for the season. So that's a main injury to take into consideration here as we move into this Thursday night football matchup. What do you think about this one, Jamie G? We talked a minute before Cam trying to be like, hey, but what are your feelings about this one? And we're both like, man, I'm not quite sure what to think about this one. We have the very famous divisional matchup short week game. We saw these matchups go a bunch of different ways last year. Everything from a low scoring, ugly slugfest to an absolutely unexpected, crazy shootout. What are kind of your expectations, overall thoughts here on this matchup?
I think it's more likely to be kind of a low scoring, ugly affair than those kind of short week crazy shootouts. I just, Arizona has been in basically every game they've played. They just haven't been able to close. In Seattle, while we've seen kind of big, production out of them, we've also seen kind of some stinkers. So I like Seattle's run defense a lot. I don't know where the offensive production comes from Arizona. I think when you couple all those things together, and I think Jonathan Gannon will have a good plan trying to come into this one here to slow down Seattle's offense. To me, it looks like a low scoring affair.
I think I agree with you, but who do you think actually manages to establish the run earlier or more efficiently? Because now you have Trey Benson in there, who I do like for the Cardinals. And then on the Seahawks, it looks like Zach Charbonnet is going to play in the mix with him and Kenneth Walker has been very inconsistent, as has been the play of both of them. Like, which team do you think has a better shot of actually going in there and establishing the run and kind of, setting the pace for the game they want to play?
It's interesting because I love Trey Benson, and you and I both have been waiting for the big Trey Benson breakout game.
Big
I
fan.
just don't like this matchup against Seattle's run defense. They've been really good at stopping the run. I'm going to lean Seattle in this one on the running side. I like the two-headed monster there. I know that Arizona's defense is formidable and everything, but I hate the Trey Benson against this run defense of Seattle in Seattle. So I'm gonna lean the Seattle's running game here.
I think I'm with you. It feels like one of those spots that's destined to disappoint us a little bit. James, Trey Benson's obviously now, replacing James Conner, going to be the new bright and shiny object in fantasy football leagues. Everyone's going to want to get him in your lineup this week. It's a short week, divisional game, tough run defense would not shock me at all if he disappointed a little bit there. So again, you get the two shots with Seattle. Kenneth Walker obviously has the big play potential. He found the end zone twice last week, despite doing basically nothing with his carries. Charbonnet was very good in game one, not very good in game two, didn't play in game three. So it's definitely a bit of a wash. This is the quarterback matchup, right? Like maybe the best way to put it is if it comes down to the fourth quarter, the game is on the line. Who do you think's more likely to make the big mistake? Is it Sam Darnold or is it quietly maybe Kyler Murray?
This is a fascinating question and honestly a good conversation and debate to have. I think it's both. I know
I
it's
don't
it's
feel great
very
about either. That is a very correct answer.
I,
I do not feel great about either. It might be a coin flip.
and I get we have to pick one for the sake of the show and everything, and I will. I think it's probably Kyler Murray just because I think he has less to work with than Sam Darnold here. We know that Sam Darnold has been able to kind of make the big mistake, and we've seen it. And we also know that Arizona hasn't been able to close out a game. They've literally been in every game, but haven't been able to close one out. So um, I don't know how much of it actually is Kyler Murray's spot. And I'm not a Kyle Murray truther. I'm probably harder on him than most, but you can't help Marvin Harrison dropping the football. You can't, I mean, I don't know how much of it's been him actually. So that's a really tough one, Mills, but I'll probably lean Kyler Murray. But I think it's probably both.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is again, both these quarterbacks are really fascinating to dig into, but Kyler Murray, I just again, you don't know really what you're going to get, and there's been so much change around him, and then he's been injured too, and you've never really kind of like gotten any real consistency there.
Yeah.
Darnold, I will say, at least he's built up the scar tissue. For what it's worth, he has failed enough times that I have maybe a little bit more confidence. And if he, has a big turnover, throws a big pick, that he'll go right back out there and try to make a big time throw, for better or worse.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, he's rode the highs and lows, whereas I don't know that Kyler Murray's ever had the highs that he's
And at the
had.
end of the game, it feels like Murray's always trying, he's moving the chains or whatever, but he's never quite taking those shots, right? Whereas Darnold looks a little bit more fearless like that, and he's willing to win or lose a game on a single play. Whereas I don't and again, it might be Kyler Murray's just never been, again, it's the whole Cardinals thing has been wild. His whole career has really been
Nuts.
extremely fascinating. It's almost a credit to him that he's been as good as he is. I mean, this is a very talented athlete, a dude who was also drafted in the top 10 of the Major League Baseball draft. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's like, he's a real great dude, great athlete. It's never quite all fit together for him.
Yeah, it really has, and a lot of it, and I don't know how much of it's actually his fault. I mean, how many offensive coordinators has the guy had in his career? I mean, it's been a tough sledding there for him. So it'll be an interesting one to watch. It's an interesting one to bet on. Spoiler alert: be careful this week, guys. Just degens, listen clearly. Be careful. I know you're going to want to bet this one, but be careful. Let's talk a little fantasy football here for Thursday night football, starting with our usual suspects. Mills, who are the players that we absolutely we need to get them into our starting fantasy lineups for this Thursday night game, Thunder Gun style?
No hesitation, no surrender. On the Seahawks side, I think it's probably only Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you better play him no matter what. Last week he was a little bit sick on Saturday night or whatever, caught the questionable tag. Yeah, no hesitation, no surrender. He should be in all of your lineups. But surprisingly, Kenneth Walker the third, no, you better show a little bit of hesitation here. We'll get to that in a minute with our sit starts. On the other side of the ball for the Arizona Cardinals, you're still going to want to be locking Kyler Murray in there. Given his rushing upside, you really don't probably have a better option on your team. Trey Benson's also in there. He should get a lot of work. We'll talk about how much he might get in the passing game, but he should at least get roughly what James Conner had been getting. Marvin Harrison Jr., again, going to get some volume here, has not really set the world on fire. But if you're needing to start three wide receivers, it's hard to see you having much better options than that for your wide receiver three. And then finally, Trey McBride, obviously one of the best tight ends in the game, should be locked into your lineups. If you're looking for a streamer here, I guess you could go with either defense or kicker here, but none of them really excite me. The guy who would really get it done, I think, if you need to throw somebody on a stream, you're looking for a big play. How about Torrey Horton, the rookie wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, who has 3 touchdowns the last 2 games, 2 receiving, one on a 90-yard punt return. He has gotten rave reviews since training camp. He has done nothing but look good when he is on the field. It looks like a big play waiting to happen. So I think he's a very, very good one to throw in there if you need some juice. Other than that, let's do a couple of start sits here. Just guys that are playing in this game versus other guys you might have on your team that you would consider. And Jamie G, we agreed on most of these, disagreed on a couple. To start with, we agreed if you had Sam Darnold or CJ Stroud, you would roll with Sam Darnold. I think this is more of an indictment of CJ Stroud than an endorsement of Sam Darnold. Is that about how you feel? Or I mean, Darnold, like 250 and two touchdowns legitimately on the table here. I don't know if it is for CJ Stroud.
Yeah, until we see it, I can't. I just can't. And we talked about this. This Houston's offense is so easy to defend right now. You take away Nico Collins, and what's left? There's no running game. CJ Stroud doesn't offer the rushing upside that you have to kind of guard 11 on 11 here. You can kind of, you're not really worried about him taking off to that much. There's no running game. This is just so easy to defend. And so until we see them become a functioning entity on offense, I just can't get there with CJ Stroud, unfortunately. It's not a knock on him. It's his surrounding cast.
Yeah, starting with that offensive line,
Yeah,
that is
it's
rougher than McGruff the crime dog there. Then we had Sam Darnold or Geno Smith. The Raiders are at home against the Bears. We both went with Geno. I think this is just more of a nature of the matchup here. I can see that turning into more of a shootout, maybe, or the Raiders getting behind a little bit. We saw it last week with Geno putting a lot of garbage time points up here. So that was kind of my thought process there. Why'd you go with Geno?
Yeah, again, I think it's got the potential to be a little bit of a shootout game there. I'm not a huge fan of Chicago's secondary. I think you can attack it. I just think Geno's going to have to kind of put the ball in the air to keep up. I think Chicago's going to be able to score some points against that defense, and I like that matchup a little bit more. Whereas this one against Arizona, division game, let's just start there. It's short week. It's got all the recipes here of being a little bit of a stinker and a little bit of a low scoring affair.
I agree with all of those things. And the next matchup was Kenneth Walker III or Javonte Williams. And we both went with Javonte Williams. That definitely would have been shocking to me even before the season when I thought Zach Charbonnet would have a bigger role. But Javonte Williams also been fairly involved in the passing game. I believe he had 6 receptions last week. Kenneth Walker did almost nothing with his big chance last week against the Saints. I know he found the end zone twice. That was basically just pure luck. I just trust Javonte Williams to touch the ball more, even if it is a worse matchup. He should get those check down passes. Like you can't guarantee that Kenneth Walker III is going to get there. So even if he might have a touch higher ceiling, I think Javonte Williams has a much better floor with a similar ceiling. Is that about what you were thinking, or anything else?
Yeah, all of that. Plus, I'll just say I like Javonte Williams, and if they can get down the field in the red zone, and I think he's earned the right to be kind of the lead pony there. There's still going to be a running back by committee, we know that, but I think he's earned the right to be the lead pony. So all those reasons plus what you said.
The next one is even more interesting because this is kind of two guys who disappoint us: Kenneth Walker III or Chase Brown. And we're both sticking with Chase Brown here, but for me, that's a lot of they don't have anyone else to really give the ball to, and even if they fail, he's going to get some dump down carries and garbage time, kind of. That's not a ringing endorsement of what you were hoping for Chase Brown when you drafted him in probably the second round of your redraft league this offseason. But again, at least we still like him better than Kenneth Walker the third. That's maybe damning with faint praise.
You got a rookie or not a rookie, but a backup quarterback in there. You're facing a tough defense. They're gonna have to try to get something going on the ground, and the same thing is true probably for Seattle, but we don't know where that's gonna come from, whether K Dub the third or our boy Zach Charbonnet. I just like Chase Brown as kind of the solo option there for a backup quarterback to lean on, whereas Kenneth Walker the third, we're just not sure.
I agree with all that. The only thing that's crazy is last week that was what all of the scuttlebutt was. Oh yeah, they're going to lean on Chase Brown this week because he has Chase Brown. I mean,
I
maybe
know.
Minnesota just got up so early it never had a chance to happen. That's probably a fair assessment. But yeah, it turned real bad real quick for. I mean, everything with the Bengals last week. Just I mean, that
Life
literally
comes
like
at you fast, man. It's
yeah, I had to run to the store, and like by the time, like in that 10 minutes, like while I was just trying to get my phone to connect to the car or whatever, like feel like Isaiah Rogers had 5 touchdowns. Next up, this was a fun one here. You got the speedsters, Torrey Horton of the Seahawks or Calvin Austin III of the Pittsburgh Steelers over there in Dublin versus the Vikings. We both went with Torrey Horton. I just like what he's showing in 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Everything has been pointing upward for him, and I don't know that he has a lot of competition 4 receptions outside of maybe obviously JSN and maybe Cooper Kupp. Whereas Calvin Austin the third, yeah, he's looked pretty good. He had the game-winning touchdown, but Aaron Rodgers is spreading the ball around to literally everybody, so he probably maxes out at like 4 targets or so. So that was kind of my line of thinking. I'm sure this was probably a close one. Why'd you go with Horton?
Yeah, this one was really really close, but I think I'd rather again the defense on Minnesota, Kelvin Austin, yeah, he's been popping a little bit, but I don't love the matchup. Tony Horton, it's just again, every week he's done it here. And I think he's going to get his opportunities, whereas I'm not so sure Kelvin Austin is. I think there's a pass rush there with Minnesota. Plus, we got the whole Dublin thing. All of that. I just kind of stayed away and went Tony Horton. But this is about as close to a coin flip as we had so far.
Yeah, when you get into these speedster type of guys, that's what it is. That's why I always like to be, if you're in a best ball league, because that way you don't have to actually pick and choose the correct spots to start them. And then we threw in a defensive joint just for fun. You have the Arizona DST or the Tennessee DST versus Houston. We both went with Tennessee. Obviously, we both hope Devondre Sweat plays. Like that will be a pretty big boost for that defense. But the Houston offense has been so bad. I just want to go against them. I feel like they're going to get at least 3 or 4 sacks and probably allow less than 20 points.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And I'm
I
really more
have nothing
complex than
more.
that, right?
It's enough said situation. You're 100%
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Just enough said. And then we had 3 that we disagreed upon, and these were all really fun, I thought, and very interesting. First, we had Trey Benson. You were on Team Benson, which surprised me because I was on Team Cam Scadaboo. For me, it was just I feel much more assured of Scadaboo's role in the passing game. I believe he had 6
100%.
receptions last week. I think Benson's going to get subbed out for DeMarcado at a certain point, so he becomes a little more touchdown dependent. And again, it's only Singletary now behind Scadaboo, so yeah, that's why I went that way. It's a legit coin flip. I would like to find a way to get both into my lineup, but if you made me pick and choose, I'd say Benson probably has the slightly better matchup, but I would trust more in Scadaboo's role in the passing.
Yeah, we just haven't seen what Benson can do in the passing game, and if there even is a
Oh,
propensity to
he can.
use
I
it.
just don't trust him to throw it to him. I think he can do it.
Right, right. Whereas it's already a proven thing with Cam Scadaboo. Now we don't know what it's going to look like under Jackson Dart, but dude, I love Cam Scadaboo. This was so hard for me. I, it really, I just looked at matchup here, and that's ultimately was the deciding factor.
Fair enough. Again, I think these are guys, we're both really excited about that are getting their
Yeah,
first starts. So, 6 and 1, half dozen in the other. And then we had a Zach Charbonnet versus Bayshal Tootin, the running back two, basically for the Jaguars there. I went Charbonnet, you went Tootin. Again, the Seahawks is a coin flip. It's a pure hot hand situation. I just feel that Kenneth Walker disappointed them against the Saints last week. So, Charbonnet is going to get his shot. If he doesn't do anything with it, it might not work out. But meanwhile, Tootin scored touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. At least it looks like he might have locked down that goal line role. So, given that Charbonnet's usage is, somewhat, questionable, I could see why you would go there. I like Tootin's upside long term. I just feel like ETN is actually more of an impediment than Kenneth Walker III, which definitely seems crazy to say based on, my dynasty teams.
it totally is. As the season goes on here, they love Bayshawn Tootin, and I think they're going to want to use more Bayshaw Tootin throughout the season. I don't know that they're going to pay the iron price for Travis Etienne, and I don't know that he's going to accept a hometown discount to stay with Jacksonville. I think this is the time where you start to see him get more of that goal line work, get more of that third down work, and yes. Again, Jack Charbonnet, I wish I knew what to expect out of the Seattle running. If I had even a fraction of a clue, it would probably be Charbonnet. But because of the unknown there, I had to go Tootin.
Well, put it this way, the books aren't willing to put numbers up on Charbonnet yet, so they don't have an idea either. So maybe it's just that the problem is unsolvable. Full on Dr. Zoidberg here. And then finally, we had another DST matchup: the Seahawks DST or the Steelers DST over in Dublin there against the Vikings. I went with the Steelers basically because it's a weird Europe game in Carson Wentz. I do not trust. So that was pretty much the length and the depth of my analysis there. Any particular reason you went with Seattle? Other than they have been, pretty. They've been a good defense this year. I have really, no complaints against them. You'd like to maybe get a little bit more pass rush, but they've been very, very solid. They get Arizona on a short week. I can see how it could happen, but again, just Carson Wentz, I can just see that I think there's more of a chance of a train wreck with Carson Wentz.
100%. And I totally agree with you on that. I'm just not as high on Pittsburgh's defense as most. I think when I look at this defense, I see an aging, slow unit. I don't see them being able to cover, particularly across the middle of the field. Maybe they get Joey Porter back. Maybe that helps. I don't know. But I haven't been impressed with Pittsburgh's defense. Yes, it's Minnesota. Yes, it's Carson Wentz. Yes, all that spells, hit the slam button on whoever the defense is playing them. With Seattle, though, at home. I like their ability to create the turnover. I like their ability to make Arizona one-dimensional here. And even though Kyler Murray is not the easiest quarterback to get on the ground, his size allows for quite a few tip balls, quite a few kind of backward scrambles, things like that, where he's kind of scrambles back 5, 10 yards, ends up running out of bounds to avoid the hit, things like that. So I kind of leaned on that a little bit, but I honestly, you could sell me on betting against
You're
Carson
coin
Wentz
flipping
here.
on this one, I think.
I
I think
think
I would
so.
start. I could start either of those defenses. Especially where you weren't overly penalized for extra points given up or something like that, just in case this turns into a weird, sneaky shootout. Which happens sometimes with the short week or the foreign. Well, probably more with the short weeks than the foreign games, but at least lately we've started to see the totals creep up in some of the European games.
Yeah, we have, man. Well, there's more than one way to play fantasy football, so it's time to take down some Thursday night football showdown contests over on Draftkings. We got a couple players that should get into your lineups, and we're starting at the top with your most crucial decision. Oh, captain, my captain, who will you play at the captain position?
Yeah, really no surprise here. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's
With a bullet, right? I mean,
16,500
that's
in your captain spot. He's at least 20 DraftKings points in every game this season. And last week, he would have smashed even harder if they didn't pull him out basically towards the end of the third quarter. Excellent floor ceiling combination. Do not overthink it. If you are playing in a cash game, double up, head to head, single entry, small tournament with 3 to 5 max entries, something like that, just lock JSN in as your captain. Do not hesitate. Do not surrender. Just do it. Do it now. But if you are in a large field tournament, you're looking at the other side of the ball, you have options. I think you go with Trey McBride. The Cardinals tight end is 14,700 in your captain spot. He is the focal point of that passing game and quite possibly the focal point of that entire offense. And it's much easier to attack the Seattle defense with the tight end up the middle than it is to attack on the boundaries with the corners that they have out there. I do not trust Marvin Harrison, so I think this could shape up to be a monster game with Trey McBride. He's just had bad touchdown luck throughout his career. He scored touchdowns at a very low rate. He found the end zone once so far this season. It took him forever to do so last season. I feel like he's going to have a positive regression here where he finds the end zone more this season. So, especially in a deeper tournament, a larger field tournament, go ahead, put Trey McBride in at your captain spot.
well, once we get past those captain spots, anybody else sticking out here?
If you're going to do the full dumpster dive on DK in the showdown at mid price at 200, you have one of the Cardinals running backs will be up. It'll either be Zonovan Knight or Michael Carter. One of them will be active. They only cost $200, allows you to do a lot else with your lineup. You can win a lot of stuff with a zero if it only costs you 200. So just keep that on the board. Otherwise, you have Amari DiMarcado, the backup running back for the Arizona Cardinals. He is 3,800 in your flex. I expect him to be heavily involved in the third down role in terms of pass blocking and running a lot of routes there. If the Cardinals fall behind, he can end up scoring more points than Trey Benson and cost less than half. So just a guy to keep in mind there. And then finally, kind of in the mid range, not quite full on value, but Torrey Horton at 5,800. I really, really love. Again, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, one being a punt return touchdown. He's got some juice there, so he's a decent stacking option if you want to play him with the Seahawks DST. If you're going to spend up for anybody, obviously, I think you want Jackson Smith and Jigba in your lineup, be it a captain or in the flex. If he's in your flex, he's 1,100 flat. Trey McBride, also same thing. Even if he's not in the captain, unless you're doing a contrarian thing, you want him in your flex. He's 9,800 in the flex. Past that, Jamie G, if I'm spending up a little bit, you could go to Kyler, but you know what? If I'm going to spend up, I think I go with the 8,800 on Trey Benson. It is risk reward, boom or bust, but I think he could get it done. What do you think, man? Would you rather play Trey Benson or Marvin Harrison Jr. in your flex?
Man, that's a tough one. I think probably Benson probably has the higher floor, but Marvin Harrison Jr. has a way higher ceiling. I think for the price tag on it, I'd probably go Benson.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Benson again. Marvin Harrison's kind of had his chance. We've all been waiting for Trey Benson, or at least I know the two of us have. So perhaps he could happen here. On the Seahawks side, you have Kenneth Walker. He is 10,400 in your flex. Zach Charbonnet is only 5,400, almost just half the price. For me, it's a no-brainer. I would much rather play Zach Charbonnet. Can you justify Walker? I mean, he'll be much lower owned at the price tag. But I just think that this is a hot hand, almost 50-50 split situation. So this seems like a mispricing to me.
It really does. And I think it's time to take advantage of it. I mean, when you find those type of things, take advantage of it.
Yeah, you don't overthink it. And then how about the quarterback battle, dude? Kyler Murray, we know he has the rushing upside in your flex. 10,800, 10,800. Sam Darnold's 10K flat, only 800 cheaper. Or you could, phrase it the other way. Kyler Murray's only $800 more expensive than Sam Darnold. Which quarterback would you rather play?
Probably Kyler Murray because of the rushing upside, but I think Sam Darnold has the ability to get more passing touchdowns, more yardage, that kind of thing. To me, I'm going to probably lean on Murray here, paying up the extra 800 just for the rushing upside. I think the running game is going to come from a combination of Kyler Murray scrambling.
I agree with that. Like I think you have a little bit more upside with Murray, and I think on the other side because you're gonna play JSN anyways. If you can play JSN and Horton, you in Charbonnet, you might be able to hope that you just absorb all the Seahawks touchdowns in that fashion. And so then that's going to force the Arizona to play from behind, really open things up so you can play Murray with Trey McBride. So I like that. I think I'm there with you on that one. And if we want to pack the stack in the back of the act, we're just doing a little mini stack here to help you out if you're playing in a larger field tournament. Maybe a captain, you throw JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba in, 16,500 in your captain spot. Then you could supplement that with Trey McBride. He's 9,800 in the flex. Then you have the Seahawks defense, Seattle defense, 4K flat. Zach Charbonnet at 5,400. That leaves you about 7,150 bucks per player to finish out for the rest of your lineup. I think that's interesting. It gives you a lot of upside, a lot of different ways you can build. You could make an argument for also one of the kickers probably, but I like the idea of putting the Seahawks defense in there because it gives you the option if you want to play Horton later, gives you a little of the double up, and they've just shown kind of a nose for the big play. So if I had to pick between the two, that's the way I would go. And you can always play a kicker, but as much as we want to give respect to the kickers, you're just flipping a coin when you're throwing them. I'm gonna make Monday.
Well, I hope you guys like money because it's time for Bet It, Bank It, Blow It. Mills, go ahead, get us ready to place our Thursday night football wagers.
While we are not affiliated with Draftkings, we are getting our odds and wagers from the DK Sportsbook, and everything is accurate as of Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. And here on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, our preferred currency is the Cricket coin. So all of our wagers will be in the form of Cricket coins. In cricket, we trust. We're going to start out with our golden grab bag. These are basically our favorite wagers that aren't our absolute favorite wagers. But first, we need to see how we've done with a little transparency time. Last week in week 3 on Thursday Night Football, Jamie G, you wound up about 41 cricket coins. You were 2 of 3. You hit on the James Cook anytime touchdown. You hit on the Devin Achane over 54.5 rushing yards, but you missed on Keon Coleman over 3.5 receptions. He was stuck at 3. I was up 102 cricket coins. I was 1 for 1. I hit on James Cook to have 90 plus rushing plus receiving yards. For the season on Thursday Night Football, Jamie G, you're up about 160 cricket coins, while I'm up about 291 cricket coins. overall for the Golden Grab Bag, including Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and the opening Friday Night Football game. Jamie Chu, you're up about 56 cricket coins, while I'm up about 291 coins. I'm going to let you lead it off for us here, Jamie G. Fill up the Golden Grab Bag. Your favorite wagers, other than your absolute premium tippy of the top here. Just give us the best of the rest, kind of.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and put 100 cricket coins on Kyler Murray to have 6+ rushing attempts. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I really like him being able to scramble in this game. I think he's gonna have to do it more times than not. It's a really good rush defense. It wouldn't surprise me if they kind of shut down the run a little bit with Trey Benson. He has to create with his legs. We've seen him do it before, and he's got 6+ rushing attempts. I really like this one, man. So minus 111, 100 cricket coins there to win 190. And then I'm going to go on the other side of the football with Jackson Smith and the Jigba. We talked about him. He's delivered week in and week out. I think he does here too. 90+ receiving yards. It's plus 106, going up a little bit to get the 90+ here to get better odds, but I think he can hit it. 100 cricket coins to win 206.
I only have one this week. I've been judicious, which has worked out for me thus far. I am going to go with my guy this week. I am going to put 100 cricket coins on Torrey Horton, the Seahawks rookie wide receiver, to have 25 plus receiving yards. That is minus 111. So 100 cricket coins to bring back about 190. He's had at least 4 targets for 32 yards in each of the last 2 games. His snap percentage has risen with every week. Lots of big play potential here. This is a guy who can get 25 yards in a single catch. So very excited about that. And another thing which surprisingly we're excited about is degeneracy, because being a degenerate can be fun when done correctly. And there are, in our opinion, 3 degrees to degeneracy, and we work our way through them somewhat gradually until they happen all at once. Last week I was the only degenerate. I lost all 175 cricket coins I wagered. I missed out on the Devin Achan combo yard wager over 99.5, only at 91. I went with Josh Allen and James Cook combined for 3 touchdowns. They only had one. And I thought Keon Coleman might have the most receiving yards on Thursday Night Football, while that honor belonged to Dalton Kincaid, who had even sweeter odds than Keon Coleman. So that one really hurt. Overall, on the season, my degeneracy on Thursday Night Football has added up to a loss of about 350 cricket coins, while overall, across all of the island game slates, my degeneracy has added up to a negative of 607 coins. But I am sure we're going to turn it around this week, because I have the 3 degrees of degeneracy. We're going to start at the top, and I would put 100 cricket coins on Jackson Smith and Jigba to have 100 plus receiving yards. Odds on that are plus 165, so 100 cricket coins to bring back 265 coins. I mean, that seems almost probable, right? That's not even that much of a degenerate thing. So let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go down to the Barney Gumbo here, where you only have 50 cricket coins. You're stuck at Moe's Tavern. You need to find a way out. We're going to put them on the Rook, all 50 coins on Torrey Horton, the Seahawks rookie wide receiver, to be an anytime touchdown scorer. That is plus 425. So if he finds the end zone, be it by hook, by crook, by return, by reception, by rush, as long as he isn't throwing it in there any other way he finds the end zone, we're turning those 50 coins into about 263 coins. And then finally, you have the cricket. Poor Rickety Cricket. Things have gone so badly for him. He is living under a bridge with the dogs. He's got 25 coins, rubbing them together, trying to do anything he can to escape. And he is going to put them all this week on Sam Darnold to do the thing. Sam Darnold, 3+ touchdown passes. This is a big number, plus 700. So if he can throw 3+ touchdowns, Rickety Cricket's going to turn those 25 coins into 200 coins. And while he might not be able to move off from under the bridge, he can at least spend the night at the Comfort Inn. And that's all we want, right? We just want to spend a night somewhere, have somewhere to sleep, have a little bit of fun. And one of the best ways to have fun is at a party. And one of the best parties around is the parlay partay. The only trick is you must have a parlay to enter. Last week, Jamie G, we collaborated on a parlay, so we could enter the party together, and we only hit one of 3 legs on our 3-legger. We hit the James Cook anytime touchdown on Thursday Night Football, but we missed on the Achan combo yard prop over 99.5, And the Keon Coleman 4+ reception prop only had three, close but no cigar. So we were down 100 coins last week. Overall on Thursday Night Football, you've gone off on your own twice. You're down 200 coins at the party. We're collaboratively down 100 coins on Thursday Night Football. And overall on the Island Slates, you are down 400 coins to the party. I am down 200 coins. And this week, we have decided to put our heads together once again and collaborate. And we have collaborated on a very, very nice three-leg parlay here. And it is my duty not only to please that booty, but to show you the legs. Leg number one, we have Trey McBride to have 70 plus receiving yards. That is minus 104. Leg number two, no surprise here. We are going with Jackson Smith and Jigba 90 plus receiving yards. That is plus 106. And then finally, we are throwing in the Kyler Murray leg number three, 25 plus rushing yards. That is minus 155. When you parlay these three legs together, your odds are plus 525. So your 100 cricket coin wager would return 625 coins, which isn't enough to throw a rager, but it's enough to have a good start.
Dennis Reynolds, he says he's the golden god. And while Josh Allen might have something to say about that, we'll let Dennis keep his title because we've got the golden goose. This is the goose that lays the golden eggs, which we share with you. You're welcome. These are pure gold, I tell you, because they're our absolute favorite wagers for Thursday Night Football. If you can only make one wager or two, these are the golden eggs you're looking for.
And hey, eggs are eggs are eggs. We like eggs, whether you're doing a Greco thing or not. Last week, Jamie G, it was not great. We both missed on these. We hate when that happens. So we each lost 250 cricket coins. Thus far on the season, Thursday Night Football has not been kind to me. I've been down 700 cricket coins on the Golden Goose, while you were down about 533 cricket coins. But it's been overall better on the other days, on the Friday night, the Sunday night, the Monday night. I'm only down about 268 coins on the season. Thank the Lord and Maker, while Jamie G is up 363 coins on the season with the Golden Goose. So we're trending in the right direction. Jamie G, you have the lead. You're in the green. How are you going to get even deeper into the green with the Golden Goose here? 250 coins on your favorite wager for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, definitely want to get in the winning column here. I'm going to put 25 cricket coins on Kyler Murray, 25 plus rushing yards. We talked about it earlier. I think no matter what the game script is here, it works. But I think that with Seattle's run defense, he's going to have to create plays outside of the pocket. And with 25 yards, he's got the speed and agility to get that done in one or two carries. I absolutely think he gets this number. I was tempted to go 40 plus, but I'm playing it safe here, trying to manufacture a win. It is minus 155. If you go 40 plus, you get much better odds. You can be a braver person than me. I'm taking it at 25 plus, minus 155, 200 cricket coins to win back 411.
I like that. I like that. I do feel that is a fairly, you never want to call any wager safe, especially an NFL football wager safe. But again, unless the Cardinals get up really early and it's Trey Benson day, I feel very, very good about that one. And you know what I feel good about? I don't think it's a surprise. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm just going to take the over on the receiving yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba over 81.5 receiving yards, 250 coins at minus 114. That'll bring you back about 469. He's averaging over 100 yards per game. I feel very, very, very good about this. Like Jamie G said, I could have been greedy. I could have gone for the 90 plus, for the 100 plus. You know what? I'm just going to take the straight over at 81.5 and hopefully just print that money.
And that is the name of the game. Anything else before we get out of here?
Just don't overreach it. Just because it's Thursday Night Football, it's the only football on. Just don't do it, man. I mean, there's preseason hockey. You have last week of the MLB season. You have WNBA playoffs. There's other places you can go. Don't overextend yourself, or just have a little fun with it on DraftKings. Just pick and choose your spots. You don't have to do everything for every slate. You know what I mean? You don't have to play DraftKings, play fantasy, do wagers. You can. It's more fun. I'm not going to lie to you, but it can be a little bit overwhelming at times, especially if you're in Survivor contest, Pick'em contest. The NFL can be a bit much, so pick and choose your spot. So if you're looking at this Thursday night and you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there is there. It's called winning. Passing on a game because you don't have conviction is called winning. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great advice there. And you are winning because you're checking out another episode of Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. We greatly appreciate you guys. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and throw the thumb, like, and subscribe. We're going to do these each and every week, not just for Thursday Night Football, but we'll hit up the main slate. We'll hit up the primetime Sunday and Monday night games. We'll do anything that the NFL's doing, and you don't want to miss those. So make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know what you're looking at in this game, if you're passing on it, or if you've got an angle. We'd love to hear from you. Best way to do it is drop a comment below, or Mills will let you know where you can find us on social media.
Yeah, we get to like 100 likes, and then we'll make Jamie G actually commit to taking the Bills to cover against the Saints because that is a mighty big number. And
Yeah.
we hope you've had a mighty good time here on Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Thanks again for checking out our program. You can find our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the World Wide Web at seizethegapff.com. We do our best to keep it nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Very, very important to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please touch the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. Thanks for checking out the show, and please remember to seize the gap and stop being so inefficient.
And we don't care if you're old. You need to seize the gap.
He carries a martini made of bathtub gin.